Shall we begin? Namaste, beautiful souls. Welcome back. Today I am back to here, and I did a walkthrough and initial impressions of the deck. And the link for that video is in the description box below. So please be sure to check that out if you're just tuning in now. The tarot deck that I'm talking about is a relatively new deck that was published by Mother Inc. And many of you may be familiar with this date book, the Wemoon Journal, which is a publication uh, by a collective of women with an abundance of extraordinary art, poetry, inspiring readings. It's an amazing purchase. I look so forward to getting my Wemoon each year, and so this, when I found out that they had published a tarot deck, of course, I got on this as fast as I could, and I want to give a shout out to Liz. I want to thank you for that. Yeah, and I'll be sure, Liz, I'll link your channel below. All right, so what we're going to do today is we're going to look at the way that this deck is structured. And I'm going to talk about this in a very basic way, and then we'll get into the astrology and so forth. Okay. And please also know that I'm new to this deck. This is a new deck to me, and I'm just sharing with you what I have learned so far. So in the Wemoon Tarot, the major arcana is associated with major archetypes. It is associated with the element of ether, and all of these cards have a black border. And in the guidebook for the deck, and I just want to make a quick comment here. If you have purchased the guidebook, purchased the deck through a store, a brick and mortar store, please be sure to email Wemoon, and they will put you on a list to get your new and improved guidebook. Okay. And in the guidebook, there is no or little mention of astrology connected to the major arcana. The astrological correspondences, both sun and moon, are a part of the minor arcana in this deck. And so while you may be familiar with the Emperor card, and in this deck it's called the Empower, as signifying the energy of Aries, in this deck it is not. And I'm going to explain how it is woven in through that. So you're looking at in the Golden Dawn system, the three major arcana that are associated with, let's just put them in this order. Cardinal, fixed, and mutable fire. And this pattern is a very important part of the cycle and of the energy of this deck, but it is not built into the majors. Okay. So let's begin with the element of fire and just a little introduction to how this is organized. And I think this is going to be quite a short video because it's not rocket science how this is organized, and you can read in your own guidebook. But this reminds me a little bit about, I've seen this in this free flow of astrology in other decks as well too. And the energy here is about the patterns and the cycles of life and everything being connected. It is a respect for the web, the connectivity, the interconnectivity of all beings, of life, of all cycles, and so forth. So it does make a lot of sense. And this is all explained in a little glyph and a few pages in the back of the guidebook. Okay. In each of the suits, the 1, the 2, and the 3 represent the cardinal, the fixed, and the mutable energy of the fire signs. So the Ace represents cardinal fire, which is Aries, and the 2 of fire is fixed fire, which is Leo, and the 3 of fire is Sagittarius, which is mutable fire. And this pattern of uh, birth, creation, the energy of sustaining, and the energy of transformation and the end of the cycle is repeated across the entire suit. So we have, again, so here's the 4 of fire. So this is cardinal energy and fixed energy and mutable energy. And so what is important here is that you let go of your Golden Dawn associations if this is something that is inbred in you. Because in the in that particular pattern, the aces, the ones, are not connected to astrology at all. And the first triplet is 2, 3, 4, which is cardinal, right? So that doesn't correspond at all in this deck. So what we're seeing here is the one, or the ace of fire, and the 4 of fire representing the beginning of something, the development, the initiation of something. Whereas the 2 and the 5 of fire represent the power of endurance, that sustaining energy. And if you're familiar with the trifecta in the Hindu mythology of Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and you can use the trifecta from any sort of mythology or spirituality that you connect with. This is the same thing. And so we go across the three, 1, 2, 3, and then we repeat that pattern in 4, 5, 6. 7, again, is initiating energy. It's energy of building and growing. And what I will be doing as I dive deeper into this deck and begin to use it as a reading deck, will stop to contemplate and look at the twos, the sorry, yes, the twos, the fives, and the eights to see if there is a level of fixedness, stuckedness, and those tend to be negative terms. And so I really like the adjective sustainer. Um, there's a quality of being here and being present. So these are words and other aspects on top of the layers of the artwork and the numbers and so forth that I may or may not bring into a read. Okay. So these cards all represent Aries. These cards are Leo, and these cards are Sagittarius. And then the 10 of each suit is the grand trine. So the 10 of each suit represents all, all of fire, all of the fire signs, all of the qualities of fire. And that makes sense, right? The 10s represent the fulfillment of the suit. And so this pattern, and we'll look at other patterns as well too, but let's just do that one more time, just so you can get a handle on this if this is new to you. So in the suit of water, or you missed the walkthrough last week, in the suit of water, we have cardinal water, which is Cancer. and 2 of water is fixed water, which is Scorpio, and 3 of water, Pisces, mutable water. And so we do the same again. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9. And so all of these cards, so these cards, 3, 6, and 9, are connected to mutable water, which is the energy of Scorpio. Sorry, Pisces. Mutable is Pisces. Okay. And then this is your fixed water, and this is your cardinal water. And then your 10 of water, as in the suit of fire, is all. So this is the, you can use any tri word really. Grand trine. This is the trifecta. This is the maiden mother crown. This is Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. This is the whole shebang in the tens. So that is now, I guess the next question is how, well, I guess I've answered one way that I might work with this in this tarot, if I'm reading with this tarot deck, and is to look at the, so I'm gonna be aware, first of all, of the artwork and what the artwork is bringing forward for me. I'm going to be aware of the element, the suit that we're in. So not, so I guess what I'm saying here is in the Ace of Water, this is the beginning of an emotional journey, the gift of becoming aware of new emotions. There's some sort of a sense of that. But in the 4 as well as the 7, there is like a leveling up of that. And we have an opportunity for an emotional fresh start as well too. And that might not be something that you have ever worked with in the tarot. And one of the things that is emphasized, both in the front and the back of the little white book, is that these are cards of multiple layers. And really, you don't need to know anything about Leo, the energy of Leo. What you need to understand is we're not in Leo, sorry, we're in, let's say we're in water, we're in Scorpio, is that there may be a tendency for fixedness here and to start to acquire an abundance of descriptors that have to do with um, going the distance, having the strength to stay and to look and to be present. And when I think about this in terms of Scorpio, I think about the courage it takes to look into the water. Okay, so that's how the astrology partly is built into the minor arcana. Now we have a completely different court system in this deck, and they are not referred to as court cards. I'll use the air for this example. They are referred to as phases of life. So these are called phase cards. And just like in most tarot decks, there are 4 court cards, but these are a little bit different and described as phases of life. And so we begin with um, a waxing energy, a growing energy, a youthful energy, maybe more of a spontaneous energy in the first court card, which is called the Amazon daughter. And so the Amazon daughter represents a growing energy. And there's more to it than that. So I'm just going to go to her page. I have put my little guidebook on a ring. All right. So Amazon daughter, gratitude. So she is youthful. She is fresh. She is new. She is the energy of the waxing moon, right? So there's a definitely a youthfulness to this energy. And here's where it gets a little interesting. Okay, so I'm going to get the other air cards, put these to the side. So she is the beginning. She is the waxing energy. She is the initiating energy, which also connects her to cardinal air, which is Libra. And so there is a connection to all of these cards as initiating new beginnings. Okay. The moon phases are described only on the life phase cards and the cardinal, fixed, and waxing. Sorry, oh gosh, cardinal, fixed, and mutable energy is also described on these cards. If you weren't here for the walkthrough last week, some of these cards are horizontal and others are vertical. Okay, so that is the first court, phase called Amazon daughter. The second phase is the priestess mother. The priestess mother. And the priestess mother is also assigned cardinal energy. So she would be attached to, or there would be a correspondence with these cards as well. She, however, is not the waxing phase of the moon. She is associated with the fullness of the moon. So if you think of the pregnant belly, so the priestess mother is the fullness of the moon cycle, where the moon is fully illuminated by the sun. Okay, so just to review, the Amazon daughters are the waxing phase of the moon, and the priestess mothers are the full moon. And that could bring in any number of meanings or associations or coincidences or stories that come to mind in a particular reading. And there would be a an emphasis should any of the cards on the right also come up in a reading. Okay. The third court is also a mother, and she is called the matriarch. It's a gorgeous painting. And the key phrase, recycling ancient wisdom. It's so beautiful. This would be after the full moon. So we're following the lunar cycle. And the matriarch, recycling ancient wisdom, is connected to the waning moon. And she is connected to fixed energy, correct? Yes. So she is connected to the second set of cards. So we have 1, 2, 3. So she's connected to 4, 5, 6. I'm sorry, I had the wrong cards on the table. No, I didn't. Sorry. Uh, see, now I'm confused. Okay, so she is connected to two. Here we go. I will get this right. So she's connected to two, which is the first fixed minor. It's these numbers that are going to throw me off. And five. And eight. Two and five and eight. And I think if you sit with one suit and you start to get to know one particular suit, then this will all start to click. Of course, it's easier to remember 369. 369 are the mutable numbers, because this is a different way of looking and building the web, right? The connections of tarot. So this is your third phase of life card, which would be equivalent to a queen if you want to do those sorts of associations. Because I know some people really need that to bring in an understanding. And then the fourth court card is the crone. And I'm just looking at this card, seeing which way the heart goes. The changer and the changed. And the crone is also known as the sage. So she's the crone sage. So we have the crone sage of air, the crone sage of earth, the crone sage of fire, and the crone sage of water. And the crones are connected to the mutable energy. So that's going to be the 3, the 6, and the 9. The 3, the 6, and the 9. And then, so we're in the element of air. So now we're going to go to mutable air. And so mutable air takes us to Gemini, right? So these cards are connected to Gemini. There may be other correspondences that make sense. So of course, some of these numbers and some of these correspondences will, just by the process of the way numbers work, there will be duplicity with the Golden Dawn system, but I think it's better in working with this deck that you just let it flow as its own system. And then as far as the moon phase for the crone, this is the dark moon. So the first court card, which is the Amazon daughter, is the waxing energy. And then the mother priestess is the full moon. The matriarch is the waning moon, and the dark moon is the matriarch. No, is the crone sage or sage crone, crone sage. Okay, so that's how this deck is organized astrologically. I'll do that for you in one more suit, just so we get this crystal clear. Let's go to the suit of Earth. I'm going to go through the whole thing one more time. Okay, so in the minors, 1, 2, 3, cardinal, fixed, mutable. 4, 5, 6, cardinal, fixed, mutable. 7, 8, 9, cardinal, fixed, mutable. And so when we're talking about the suit of Earth, then these cards are going to represent Capricorn, initiating Earth, fixed Earth is Taurus, and mutable Earth is Virgo. And then the trifecta, the grand trine, the card that represents all of the earth signs is the 10. And then we can also build in the energy of the court cards. And so the idea with this deck is that the whole deck is a web. It's a web of associations, right? It's a magical, mysterious web. And here we have the Amazon daughter of Earth, who is cardinal, who is the waxing moon, who is connected to the 1 and the 4 and the 7 as initiating energy. Perhaps you know something about the energy of Capricorn and can bring that in. These are the beginning of a season, a new season, the opening of winter. So these would also be your change of season, the beginning of winter cards. Okay. And then we go to the priestess mother, who is the full moon, perhaps the full moon of winter. And she or they are also connected to the cardinal energy. Okay, so we have two court cards that are beginnings. And if you think about this in terms of the tarot, in terms of the son and the daughter, the children of the courts, these are the initiating energy. Okay, kind of makes sense, right? And then we go to the matriarch this is when the moon begins to wane, when the moon begins to wane, and this is connected to the 2 and the 5 and the 8, and this is fixed energy. And so um, this is your mother, this is your queen. And so again, doesn't quite fit with a Golden Dawn association. But it makes sense in terms of how this um, golden ratio diagram is illustrated for this deck. And then the final court, which is connected to the dark moon, the mutable signs. We have the 3, the 6, and the 9. The 3, the 6. This is quite a beautiful, my goodness. And the 9. Okay. So what I'm going to do with this deck is I will be using it for live readings on Tuesdays and doing my best to build in as many of these layers as possible. However, this is not a these it's not necessary to add everything all at once into a reading if you are completely new to this. A lot of people read the tarot without any awareness of astrological associations or contemplations to this sort of energy. This reminds me of, so I'm working with the Kantaji Oracle in my Facebook group, and built in, this is our card for tonight, by the way, built into this oracle deck are also phases of the moon. And so the deck is divided into half the deck is waxing and half the deck is waning. And so you may or may not have an awareness of, depending on the number of the card, uh, how that crosses over. And there's other decks that do this sort of thing as well too. And it can feel confusing at first, but it also opens up lots of possibilities, diving into deeper correspondences within the cards. Okay. All right. Well, if you have other requests or other confusions about this deck, be sure to tune in on Tuesdays for my live readings because I'll be reading with it starting next Tuesday. And let me know. Leave a comment down below, and I'll be sure to get back to you as possible. Enjoy your evening. Namaste.